It's Saturday, April 18th, 2026. I'm having a rough go of it. I had already had a knee issue this last couple days. I think I overdid it with my walking. And then last night I fell off my bike and got some road rash and might have broken something in my left hand. So, gotta probably visit urgent care here in a couple hours. I hate going to doctors. I really avoid them as much as I can ever since COVID, which really just showed me how little trust you can put really in people in general and in doctors especially in this world. Sadly, we have a society that, for the most part, to an extremely high degree, is just completely spiritually bankrupt. These two groups of political parties that both of them just completely and belligerently ignorant on economic matters. And it seems like no matter how much I try to help, and how much other libertarians try to help, there's just no one trying to learn. It seems like it's just a big waste of energy. That people are just religiously committed to these false ideas. They're unwilling to engage. They're unwilling to consider other viewpoints. They suffer from the same sickness I suffered from before 2017, before I recognized the value in trying to understand others. They it's real miserable to coexist with, and every day it just seems like it gets my hope seems to dwindle as far as this world. I still believe in God. I still believe that I will know joy on a personal level eventually, but my expectation that this will happen in this lifetime on this planet dwindles every day. I think if you get to a place intellectually where you understand that taxation shouldn't happen, that you can then advance to a heaven-like world, because you aren't going to be there trying to screw it up for everyone else. But of course, if we had that kind of world, it would be self-correcting, because everyone would quickly discover how good an idea this is. And so you'd be mad to start supporting tax, and then even if you did try to start extorting people, they'd just shoot you or something. So it just wouldn't work out. Of course, that's problematic, because then it seems like, well, if that kind of world already exists in some afterlife, why not just raise people there where they'll just learn to be virtuous? They'll just have teachers around them, parents and community members who are going to actually teach them right from wrong, and just how to act. And it's going to be enforced. And if you don't act right, you're not going to achieve your objectives. So maybe I've just talked myself out of the belief that there's something better beyond. I don't know. I haven't lost all hope in this planet because, two things, I guess. One, the possibility that once the credit bubble collapses and people just have no means to survive, that maybe they'll become willing to listen to reason out of desperation. Maybe they'll lose faith in their views that have been held so religiously. The other thing is my intention to start this exchange, which would be the first building block a new economy will need. But I mean, if we don't get the coordinated effort that I describe in my book, even if the exchange goes up and running and we do manage to save some people by restarting essentially an economy, the people who are going to be saved without greater economic freedom is not going to be many people. I mean, there aren't that many people that can independently produce income in a real economy right now because every supply chain is so complex. Every manufacturing process has so many components that are built in so many different places, so many different parties coordinate to bring this product to market, that anything that you're going to be able to produce on your own land is going to be much more simple. Simple crops, maybe you can raise livestock. Maybe you can do a certain amount of repair work on the machinery that still exists. But as far as producing new machines or mass production of the types of products that people are used to, there's not going to be any capacity to do that without the supply chains that have existed. And every day those supply chains are destroyed. And the really disheartening part is that the financial markets aren't reflecting this destruction because the psychology of the participants is so off base. Because when you have these two political groups who just really don't understand anything about economics, you get mispriced markets. The Strait of Hormuz has been shut for 6 weeks. And you've got two big misconceptions right now. One is that doesn't matter, that, well, now it's open and therefore that 6 weeks doesn't matter, because they don't realize that the oil gets shipped, it's drained from inventory, and it takes time for that to show up in the price at the pump and throughout the economy, because oil is used as an input in essentially every single good. And not just good, but the components of those goods. That's one problem. The second problem is people think it's reopened and it hasn't. Um, you know, there's no one insuring ships to, like, I don't know, man. It's so you got some really sick shit, man. And it's definitely disheartening. Um, yeah, I'm still putting one foot in front of the other. Yeah, I got these kids that I helped bring into the world, and I feel a responsibility towards them. I care about them. Somehow, despite all the bad influences around them, I've been able to reason with them. I've been able to explain things to them. I've always tried to hold space when they've had questions and opinions, and I've tried to give them honest answers, honest reflection, and I think my answers have made sense. And when you're a kid, you haven't yet been trained uh, to ignore certain groups of people, and so I think having a parent who's reinforced that you should listen has created a couple really amazing kids. But of course, they suffer. They suffer, and when you look at the future, it's hard to see how additional suffering is going to be avoided because we just have this collapsing economy that pretty much almost no one's aware of. They're just both these groups just believe the dollar's going to last forever. They believe the credit bubble's going to last forever. They believe that debts and deficits don't matter, but they do. Yeah, economics matters. Supply side economics matters. And that's what this oil crisis is all about. And this is the part that's always been missing from Keynesian economics, from modern monetary theory. They think it's all just demand. You just need to stimulate demand. But demand is going to exist regardless of what you stimulate. Um, the hard part is production. The hard part is producing the